So in this video, I'm going to provide you with lots and lots of samples taken from the GoPro Hero 11 Black, the DJI Osmo Action 3, and the Insta360 X3. Now, all three of these action cameras came out within about a month of each other in 2022, and each of them have a lot of similarities and of course some differences. Now, the camera that's going to be most different from the other ones is going to be the Insta360 X3. And that's because this camera, first and foremost, is designed to shoot 360-degree footage. But the GoPro Hero 11 and the Osmo Action 3 are not designed to shoot 360-degree footage. In fact, they cannot do so. So for the sake of today's comparison footage, on the Insta360 X3, I used the 4K single lens mode, and on each of the cameras I had a lot of the default settings plugged in so that you get an accurate comparison. Let's take a look at these clips. This is going to be a stabilization test, one of many. This is in 4K 60 on the Action 3, 4K 60 on the Hero 11, and 4K 30 on the Insta360 X3, because the Insta360 X3 only goes up to 4K 30 in single lens mode. And these do all have stabilization turned on, each of their respective stabilization names, but there is no boost, it's just a standard stabilization mode. Do you like all those leaves falling, buddy?
Yeah.
Good job.
It hit the branch line.
It did. Right now it's hard to know what camera to look at, so I'm gonna pick a camera here to look at while I'm talking. So right now it's obviously a bright sunny day, so there shouldn't really be any lighting problems here. But I wanted to do several clips so you could see how the lighting adjusts, like when I pan up, when I pan down, when I pan sideways. You can kind of get a feel for each of these different cameras. So these are all in the 4K 60 mode, except for the Insta360 X3, which is 4K 30.
Yeah.
If you're curious to see my setup, I'll show you here really quick what I've got. So these are the three cameras mounted right here. So what we have with the Insta360 is the standard speed of him running. And then on the Action 3 and the Hero 11, it is in 4K 120, and it's slowed down 4 times. So you can see how that looks. Do you want to run again?
Yeah, I am gonna run.
All right, so now we're doing a widest mode each camera can do in 4K comparison. So the Insta360 can't go any wider in 4K, but on the Action 3 and the Hero 11, these are each the respective widest modes that they do. On the Action 3, it is called ultra wide, and on the Hero 11, it's called hyper view. And both the Action 3 and the Hero 11 are in 4K 60. And of course, I should mention the Hero 11 can go up to 5.3K. But for the sake of comparisons, I'm doing the 4K and the Hero 11, since the DJI Action 3 does not do 5.3K. and we'll do a test of selfie mode in the widest mode. So one of the keys when you're doing this wide of footage is you want to keep your subject, if it's pointing at you, near the center. It's going to have the least amount of distortion. If it's not near the center, it's going to look really distorted and stretched. So it is really important to keep yourself near the center if you're talking to the camera in this mode. This mode is great for an action sport such as biking. Really cool for that, downhill skiing, that type of thing. You get a lot of the width around you in the frame. It looks really cool. So for next test here, I'm shooting this in the linear mode equivalent on each of these cameras. So on the Action 3, that is standard D-warp. On the X3, that's the default field of view. It doesn't do necessarily a linear in 4K, but that is the narrowest field of view we can get. And then on the Hero 11, it is set to the linear, but not with horizon lock or horizon leveling, just the default linear here for footage comparisons. So this kind of gets rid of that fisheye distortion in camera. So it's a good test to see how that looks. If I swing this around with it looking at me, it's a good way of testing how this looks in a selfie mode. For final test here, we're going to look at the horizon leveling / horizon locking capabilities. So on the Action 3, you can't do horizon lock, but you can do horizon leveling up to 45 degrees in 4K. So once we go beyond the 45, it's going to turn. But on the Hero 11 Black, you can do 360 degree horizon lock. So if I turn these this way, the Hero 11 Black is going to stay lined up, but the rest of the cameras are going to rotate. And of course, on the Insta360, if you're doing it in 360 mode, you can have that horizon lock. It's going to stay there. When you film in 360 degree mode, you do get 5.7K footage, but once you process that later on when editing, you can only export it as 1080p footage. Now it does look good, it's good looking 1080p footage, but it's not 4K. So for the sake of this comparison, we're doing the single lens comparison only on the X3. This is good lighting test, because we've got the shadows here along the left and then the sun on the right.